Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome back to another sizzling, very sweaty edition of A Guide to Poor Parenting, a podcast from me, Jason.
And me, Jennifer.
Have a few drinks.
And talk shit about our kids.
Please follow us on Instagram at Guide to Poor Parenting.
And Twitter, Facebook, TikTok at Poor Parent Pod.
Yes, I was just telling Jennifer that we have been recording more and more.
Oh, you don't have YouTube on here.
Oh, I don't have YouTube on here. Yeah, well, YouTube also is Poor Parent Pod. But we got our first YouTube badge for over 3,000 views for our little shorts that we do, because we're still not getting much in the way of traction on the YouTube podcast part of it. But we're still not doing audio, so I'm okay. But I am
video?
You what?
You said audio.
Yeah, because our YouTube channel is just the image that I generate for the episode with the title, and then it's our audio in the background. That's all it is. So it's technically a video, but it's whatever. But I am very excited to have a very famous and well-known podcastress with his own podcast. We've gotten the recording studio, Mr. Brian. Hi, Brian.
Hi.
Hi.
This is fancy. You guys are set up pretty fancy.
Oh, whatever. I've seen the pictures of your studio. Yours is way nicer. This is just our kitchen.
It's all AI.
It's all AI.
It's not even me.
Oh, okay.
I'm just kidding.
Well, Brian, tell us about what is the name of your podcast?
The name of my podcast is Raging Hard On.
And where can people find you online?
And that's Heart, Heart.
As he sits here with a raging hard on.
Yeah. I just thought, to get the gays to listen, it needed to be a little dirty.
Yeah.
Especially to listen about mental health stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
I do like your t-shirt. That's a really nice t-shirt for your podcast.
Thank you.
With the heart being a rainbow.
Did you, where can people find your podcast and what is your socials?
Spotify, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, everywhere you listen to podcasts.
Everywhere you listen to podcasts.
Yeah.
Please.
Do you sell merch?
No, I haven't. I'd sell you this shirt right now for $20.
Well,
I'm just kidding.
I might have a naked man.
You like dirty underwear?
With the,
podcast. That's for his OnlyFans account.
The Patreon.
Is that what you put on your Patreon for your subscribers?
Yeah, whatever they want at this point.
Now, how many you've been doing? We first contacted each other back in, was it February, March?
Yeah, before I even started.
I knew, we have a mutual friend named Izzy. All three of us know Izzy. Goes by Anastasia Torres. Is one of our local drag queens. We love Izzy.
Yep.
And
yes.
He came over one night and we were talking. He's like, oh, a friend of mine's going to start a podcast named Brian. I was like, oh, okay. So he, I think he told you and we connected and then we chatted for a while, and then we kind of went radio silent for 4 months, and then I started seeing some of your stuff, and I was like, oh, we need to, we check in every now and oh, let's hang out, let's do the podcast, and then...
Yeah, because I think everybody, let's be honest, everybody has a podcast, or everybody's thinking about a podcast, and, it can be scary to get involved in some folks, because... yeah, you just never know what direction it's going to go. And especially mine being called Raging Hard On. A lot of people are like, I don't know. And now they're realizing the play on words and that it's more about healing and mental health. But just really irreverent, and you can cuss and...
I have a friend when I was trying to get him to get his sister to come on our podcast, and he's like, I don't know, your podcast is all about being bad parents. I'm like, it's a joke, dumbass.
It's about being real parents.
Yeah.
It's we're not beating them. We want to occasionally, but we don't actually hit them.
Yeah.
Well, Mr. Brian, do you want to introduce what we're drinking today?
We are drinking Mad Dog 2020. I'm just kidding.
Bringing it back to the
I'm just kidding.
I don't do that no more. I did that in my
We are drinking
teens.
vodka with sparkling pomegranate blueberry. Tell me that ain't some fancy shit.
It would be, but it's from Aldi's.
And it's a French soda.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow. Yeah.
From Aldi's. But Aldi's is a shit. I don't care what you say. I love me some Aldi's. But I'm also German, so.
Huh?
That's $3.
That whole bottle.
$3.
And it's a very fancy
Well, it looks
bottle.
really fancy.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's good. Yeah. I think you had to spike yours with Little Monster.
Well, yeah, a little monster.
And our favorite Kirkland brand vodka from Costco that we love for $20 for a gallon of vodka.
Well, what you love.
So there's where we are. So if I get really messy by the end of this episode.
Cheers.
That is what we're
Cheers
aiming for.
to that.
Yeah.
Now, how do you know Izzy? For all our local listeners, all 15 of you, how do you know Anastasia Torres?
Oh my gosh, from years ago at the bar,
Which bar?
one?
the VU,
Oh,
when
the
it
VU,
was
okay.
still open, and Izzy was bartending, I think. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to think. I'm sure, like, all gay relationships go back to a grinder encounter.
I was about to say, you just walked in, his ass was up in the air.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was.
yeah.
Face down, ass up. That's
And
what
I was the first friend to ever go, you should have that scene about. So I'm just kidding, Izzy. I love
You're
you.
like, can I wipe the shit off?
No,
your
I don't
butt?"
know. I mean, we've just always been friends.
Well, Izzy is just really personable.
Yeah,
Like,
he is super
is
sweet.
Very.
just awesome. My mom used to work with Izzy when he worked at the Westin.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and my mom would be like, "Oh yeah, there's this guy. I really like him. He's gay." And I was like, "Okay." And then I went to a Christmas party with her, and Izzy comes as Anastasia Torres, and my mom was like, That's the guy I was telling you about." And then Izzy comes and like gives me a big hug and a kiss on the cheek, and Mama looks at me and she's like, "Do you know all the gays?" And I was like, "Not all of them, but I know him."
Yeah, he's and it's funny because Izzy and Anastasia are two totally different people. I mean,
I think I can count on one hand, no, maybe two hands, the times I've seen Izzy in drag. I know he does it, and I see the pictures all the time, but like Zay and I are such old fuddy-duddies, we don't go out anymore. And I just hate being, like, the bars here in town are all still smoking, and I'm just like, ugh.
yeah. No, I mean, it's like you see Izzy and he's this little Puerto Rican dude.
Yep.
In every way you can imagine that to look like and act like. And then you meet Anastasia, and it's like the same thing, but a Puerto Rican lady.
Yep.
And I say lady loosely, but yeah, love Izzy.
Lady. Now, how long have you been? You're not native to Huntsville, right?
I am native to Gunnersville, which is right outside of
Okay,
Huntsville.
northern Alabama.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you grow up on the lake? You a beach boy?
Not on the lake. I grew up in the middle of like 100 acres. My parents have out there that way out in the country. I was just a country boy.
Was it? Okay, I'm not going to ask if you were poor white trash, but were you poor white trash?
Not on
Very-
100 acres.
Oh, it was not like my dad had a recycling center, so it was a junkyard.
Oh, okay.
And
So you knew all the local meth heads.
yeah, of course.
Catalog converter
Well,
for you.
back when I was growing up, like you didn't have to give receipts for the metal you bought.
Mm-hmm.
It was really like a perfect business. Like lots of people became millionaires off buying junk, like trash from folks.
Right.
And now the government's a little more involved and they want their part. So it's not quite what it used to be.
Okay, so you weren't
But-
poor white trash. You were.
We were when we were little. Like when my
Okay.
dad set out to do that, we were in a trailer. I'm just going to be real honest. We lived in a trailer when I was little that my dad bought for junk.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I think he paid, $100 for it. And we lived in that. There were 4 kids. We were very poor. And then he really is like a big success story.
That's awesome.
So we moved into the house I grew up in after that business took off. And he was just a really smart country businessman.
That's
He
awesome.
couldn't read, but
Wow.
he just knew his way around the world and created a really nice income. And we moved into the house. The first night we were in the house, my mom said she went to tuck us in, and me and my brother were asleep in the floor because we had never been allowed to go to a house like that.
Oh.
When you got 4 little dirty white children, like you don't take them everywhere.
Yeah.
And
Their little dirty Walmart feet.
yes, like we were those kids. And she said she went to put us in bed and we were asleep in the floor because we were scared to mess the bed up.
Aww.
We had never seen a house like that. It had crystal chandeliers. It had,
Oh.
that tri-level brown carpet that was new, smelled new, new paneling. So we were just scared to mess with anything.
Right.
And my parents were so proud
As they should have been.
Yeah.
to give us this life that the two of them, Mom grew up in Chicago in a trailer park, and actually Calumet City. And if you know anything about Chicago, it's like the roughest. You've seen the show Shameless?
No.
Okay, there's where my mom grew up.
Oh, okay.
And then my dad grew up just here in the country.
How'd
And
they meet, Chicago and country?
my mom ran away from an orphanage in Chicago after her mother died.
Wow.
And she
How old was she?
was 13, I think, when her mom died.
Oh,
And then her mom, she was made to live with her grandfather that lived in Alabama. He was Holiness Church of God preacher, but also
Pedo?
a pedo.
Oh, Lord.
And she went to her grandmother, and her grandmother was like, I love him. He's my husband. And so she signed for my mother to get married at 14
Wow.
to get out of the house. And she didn't marry my dad. She married another guy. And then at 17, she met my dad and married him.
Wow.
So there were 4 of us by the time she was 21. So
Oh, wow.
she was,
They had fun.
huh?
They had fun
Well, it
for
was-
a few years there.
Yeah, she used to tell everybody that she didn't know how she kept getting pregnant. And she thought it was from doing laundry. She stopped doing laundry, and that didn't work. But, yeah, she finally figured it out.
Oh, bless her. But I say, your mama lived a lot of life before she was even 30.
She
Yeah.
did. And you know what?
Before she was 22, were you talking
Yeah,
about?
that's true.
Have you guys gotten to the point in parenthood yet that you remember your parents being this age and the grace you afford them is totally different? Because now I think of my mom and I'm like, she was 21 with 4 of us. How the fuck did we even live?
Right?
Yeah.
You know? And not just live, but turn out to be decent humans from a person who had no tools in her toolbox on raising kids. Like, her mom was a single mom back, and we're pretty sure my grandmother was a product of the laws, or her death was before Roe v. Wade.
Oh, wow.
So my mom found her after school one day, and pretty sure it was from an at-home abortion.
Oh, that's sad.
Wow.
Did all your siblings turn out pretty okay, or?
Yeah, like my brother is just a year older than me, and if you saw him, he is polar opposite, country overalls, and such a sweet person. My little sister is, we'll say, eclectic.
She a little hippie girl?
She's a free something.
Okay.
And my older sister is very much a good church, godly woman.
Okay.
Yeah,
Are you the only homosexual?
that's what they've said. Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Now, where are you in the birth order?
I am. So my mom had my sister with the first husband,
Okay.
and when my sister was a baby, she met my dad, and then I'm the middle of my dad's children.
Okay.
I'm the most like my dad, which we did not get along at all. I just made a TikTok this week about, you know, there's this little viral trend going around, and I carry that shit real deep in my chest.
Mm-hmm.
You heard that song? I was raised by a woman who was hard to impress, and I carry that shit real deep in my chest. But everybody's doing like something from their childhood,
Right.
and then how they still carry it. And my dad was so uncomfortable with me,
Gotcha.
and me being effeminate and the
Were you
little
a girly
sissy
boy?
Yeah, like, and I was a magical
Unicorn.
little boy that was creative and twisted and skipped everywhere he went,
Oh,
and
bless you.
he just didn't know how to love me.
Yeah.
Right.
He didn't know how to be proud of me but today he is like, yeah, it's really having to deal with, I love this man. He's a good man today.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And then I also have this man that I grew up with that I was not close to. But the older I get, the more I realize we're just alike.
You're saying this, and for, because we're not a video podcast. Mr. Brian is a muscle bear, I guess is how. If I saw you out in the wild, I'm like, oh, that's a muscle bear.
Aw, really?
Yeah, you and your husband.
I flipped my hair.
He did. His imaginary wig.
You know, it's funny because people look at me and they're like, oh, he's a big boy. I literally just learned to throw a ball and catch a ball this year.
But I didn't say you were manly. I just said you were muscular.
Girl. But yeah, like people look at me and they're like, oh, he's sporty. No, like,
No, ma'am.
no, ma'am. No, thank you. Like, don't toss keys at me.
Okay. I will remember that.
They're sharp and pointy and dangerous, and
All right.
I don't know how to catch them, so I just duck. Like,
Brian's husband is sitting on the couch next to Jennifer, giving his funny hand signals this week. Hopefully, he'll make some TikToks of the podcast. So you grew up a little gay boy in rural Alabama. When did you graduate high school, and when did you make your way over to Huntsville?
I was class of 97, but I actually quit high school.
How old are you? You're 45 or 46?
44. Am I? How old am I? Yeah, we're 44.
Because I'm class of 96, and I'm 46.
I was 16.
Oh.
So I went
You
to...
didn't let him finish.
No, sorry.
I quit high school my last year.
Oh, okay.
I quit. And then the school counselor called and was like, you can't just quit. You've got to go to college. So she set it up. She was just really upset I quit. I went and took my GED immediately and got scholarships off that. But I moved to Florida and went to Bible college. Hallelujah.
Praise Jesus.
And went to school to be a preacher.
Oh, wow.
I have heard that from so many gay men with like some deep religious trauma. It's like, oh, I
Yeah.
was incredibly effeminate, or I was like deeply closeted, and so I went to like I have at least 3 friends that have done that. Same.
Well, I think it's growing up in the evangelical church or the Pentecostal church. You know, we love the theatrics of it, where you can just fall down in the floor
Start
and
speaking in tongues.
Yep.
speak in tongues, like make up shit. And
No, you didn't have like
Dance.
snakes or anything like that. It wasn't.
we didn't.
Okay.
No.
I didn't know how country you were because.
No, but there are churches around
I know.
here.
Oh,
That's
so
why I
we
was
know.
asking. Yeah.
That have.
We know some.
So you went to Bible college
I did.
as an effeminate man.
Just
You just
We're-
met
I
all
like
the
to think
gays.
I was a
at
butch
the-
girl.
Did you meet
I
all the
was a
gays?
sporty
She was a butch
spice.
queen.
Yeah. Did you meet a lot of gays at the Bible college?
Well,
Probably.
I
not
only
openly.
did my first year of Bible college because second semester there were rumors of some guys who might be gay, and they were kicking them out, and I was so scared they were going to kick me out, so I quit.
Oh, you quit the college because
I
of-
wasn't doing anything, but I was dating a girl at the time in college, and I was just really struggling with my identity, who I was, and I had foreclosed on who I was so much to run from it. And one night, Belinda, Puerto Rican girl, and we finally had the talk, and I was like, I need to talk to you about something. This is really bothering me. And we went to the liquor store, Bible college.
Oh, Lord.
Belinda was a rebel. Like, she grew up a much harder life than me, like in foster care, and
Wow.
just like the most artistic and poetic person you would ever meet. Puerto Rican with this massive curly black afro that I can't remember what the hair product was, but it was like the best smell if she walked in a room. Everything about her grabbed your attention. She was a jazz singer. And
nice.
so we went to the liquor store and we
Got
had
you
a few
some
drinks.
Mad Dog 2020 because that
Who
was the time
knows?
for
Like,
it.
I was a
Orson
good
Boone's
Christian
Farm.
girl. I didn't know what I was drinking. But we had a few drinks, and Belinda was like, okay, I can tell you already. I'm like, wait, I want to talk to you. And she's like, that you're gay? And I was like,
You were dating your fag hag, weren't you?
So we had
Peer.
Sorry.
we
we're
had
here.
sex in the car right there.
Oh.
But I knew, like, going back to campus, because I still love this girl. Like, she is just everything about her. Like, her past, her stories, her scars, her just everything she's done in her life is amazing. She works in New York now, defending or helping to defend juveniles who are being prosecuted to keep them out of the system and keep them out of prison. And yeah, she's just such a cool person.
Sounds like it, definitely.
Yeah,
Is she still in your life?
Yeah, we still talk.
That's awesome.
Yeah, she's really cool. Michael's met her.
Yeah.
We met her in New York City. She's just a cool girl, isn't she?
Yeah.
So.
All right, so you quit Bible college because you didn't want to get kicked out for being gay?
I was afraid I was gonna slip up and suck a dick. And
Had you not had any sexual experiences yet?
Besides Belinda.
Not in Bible college, no.
Okay.
I did have this little boy right before I went to Bible college, that first boy I'd ever like kissed, and I wanted to kiss a boy so bad. And Scott Christian, we went behind the church and we kissed, and then we fooled around. It was clumsy, and but I knew in that moment that it didn't feel like the girls I'd kissed. I knew this felt really good.
Right.
Like I wanted to kiss more boys. Like I knew me and Scott weren't going to work out. He was going to be an actor, but I just wanted to kiss boys. I wanted to kiss boys and touch boys.
You know. I mean,
yeah.
You want to touch a wiener.
So Bible college, you quit. Did you go to another college, or did you just say, okay, I'm done with school?
I went to beauty school,
okay.
and then started doing hair, and I did hair for 20-something years.
Wow.
Which is funny because as we're an audio podcast, Miss Bryan is bald as a cue ball.
Are you kidding?
Did you not know?
I'm bald, but any hairdresser will tell. I mean, look at hairdressers' hair.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, I haven't looked at a hairdresser's hair
after you've
in 10
done
years.
hair for 20 years, like, people used to sit down and go, do whatever you want. And I thought, bitch, I want a nap.
You want to shave your ass bald.
Like, can I still charge you if I do what I want? Because
Right.
what I want to do is go home.
Well, sometimes we just don't know what we want, or we want to change and we don't
I
know.
know,
what we
but
want to
here's
change
the
to.
problem: is that 8 a.m. appointment, we're on,
Right.
we're ready to go, and after 15 different women's haircuts and colors, by the end of the day, that 8 o'clock appointment wants us to feel the same way, and we don't. I mean, we fake it. I mean, there may be hairdressers out there who are just as excited at 6 o'clock at night, but you're a liar if you say you are. Like, it's hard. It's hard work, and
You stand up all day.
and to come up with something new all the time. And
I can see that.
I traveled and did hair shows, and that was kind of cool because they give us models,
Right.
and you have these 6'4", 6'2" women that look like aliens anyways. If you've ever seen real models off stage, they're not pretty in the real world, but they're beautiful on stage.
Yeah.
And we could do crazy stuff to them.
And you could use your imagination. And
Yeah,
you
like
could
that
come
was
up with
creative
something
hair. Yeah.
that you wouldn't do to Miss Sally, because
Yeah.
then she'd be walking around looking like a peacock.
You do
know?
have some clients that you're just really proud of what they're putting out there.
Yeah.
But
Now,
no, it's different behind the chair than it is on stage. Like being on stage, people thought I was some famous hairdresser from a big city. They didn't realize I was from Gunnersville, Alabama. And
well, you did your job well then.
and when I came off that stage the next morning, I was doing a trim on Martha Sue.
Not Martha
Like,
Sue.
just like they were doing. I was
Right.
no different than,
Yeah.
sometimes the 200 or 1,500 people sitting in the audience.
Right.
I mean,
Now, did you ever think about going to like the film industry since Atlanta was so close?
going to where?
Film, like do the motion pictures, do the pictures.
No, that's like the closer I got to a lot of that when I was traveling, doing classes for hair manufacturers and, like traveling with people that had their own TV shows.
Right.
It is a really cutthroat, rough industry. And anybody that does hair in Los Angeles, those bitches come for you. Like,
Oh, do they?
it's a hierarchy that's already set up, and they will destroy you for trying to get any further. It's a tough tough business.
Okay.
Sounds like it.
Yeah. I
You
mean,
wouldn't think hair would be so, crazy, cutthroat.
Tabitha
And-
tried to show y'all.
Who? Oh, I guess
Tabitha's Takeover. Y'all remember that show?
it was a Bravo show, wasn't it?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
British
Oh, I don't
lady
watch
with the
Bravo.
blonde
Yeah.
hair.
Sorry.
I know vaguely who you're talking about, but like, I haven't watched TV in forever.
She would
so.
do hair shows she's a bitch.
All right, Tabitha, come on this podcast, defend yourself. All right, so you dropped out of college, you became a hairdresser, and somewhere in there you got some
Pregnant.
poor woman pregnant. Now, when did that happen?
Well, I had gotten really messed up on drugs and partying and everything after I got out of college and came back to Alabama. But then I had this friend that she wanted to have a baby. And, it was Will and Grace. Everything was gay.
Oh, were you already out of the closet by this point?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
And she was with a girl at that point, and we decided to make a baby.
The old-fashioned way?
Huh?
The old-fashioned way?
Or turkey baster.
No, not the old-fashioned way.
I don't know.
Ew.
You've had sex with a girl?
I have, but not her.
I don't know.
No, we did the insemination at home kit.
Okay.
And after we did it the first time, I was like, that was weird. I'm not doing that again.
Did you
And
inseminate her? Or did her girlfriend inseminate her?
her girlfriend did.
Oh,
I
okay.
just watched a video in my room and then took it to him.
You provided the baby batter.
And then I was like, I don't think I'll do that again. And, they were like, it doesn't work the first time. Like, this is something you got to keep trying over and over. And then she got up the next day and was like, I don't feel good. I think I've got a virus anyway, so I'm probably not even ovulating. And nope, she was pregnant.
Damn.
Damn.
First try.
One time.
You got a potent load, my friend.
I know. I should have been selling that shit. And he was like the prettiest baby ever. Like, oh my God, he was the cutest baby.
Now, what year was he born? Because
Oh,
he's
05.
been... What?
05.
Oh, wow. I was in grad school in 05.
Yeah. Yeah, I was, there weren't many gays with kids. Unless they had been married and then came out.
Yeah.
I didn't know any others. And I would, all the boys loved it. They just thought it was so cool that we had a kid. But, yeah.
Did y'all co-parent, or did she
We tried.
just parent with
We
her
tried.
girlfriend?
When he was about a week old, we found out he had a condition called tetralogy of Fallot, which is 3 major heart defects
Oh, wow.
that would have to be corrected.
Damn.
And
Through surgery?
which meant he would have multiple surgeries throughout his lifetime. And
sorry.
his first surgery was at 3 months old, I think. And then we went back at 9 months. And because the first surgery, they got air into his heart, which is fatal when he went on heart-lung bypass. So they came out. The surgeon stopped the surgery. She was like, I saw the air go in. We stopped it. I don't know what to do. We don't know what. She was like, I have every major surgeon in the United States on the phone right now. And I just need... First they came out and they were like, Grayson's had a stroke.
Oh, damn.
my God.
And I'm like, what? And then the doctor came out. She was the surgeon. She came out and was like, what do you know? And I was like, that he's had a stroke. And she goes, who told you that? I said, everybody in this conference room. She was like, that's a lie.
Oh.
This is our fault. There's air that got into the tube. It went into his heart. And if it goes into the brain, it kills the tissue that it touches.
Oh, gosh.
And I'm like, so what do we do? And she's like, I don't know. But immediately, I just had this trust with her.
Mm-hmm.
And
Well,
she was
she
like,
was straight
I wanna-
up with you.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's
and
what's
that
good.
was like the thing, is that she was blunt and honest with me. And I just remember saying, whatever she says to do is what we're doing. And she did this thing they were doing in the military called suspended animation, where they make you as close to dead as they can get you. Mm-hmm. You're cold, you're blue, your chest is barely moving from breathing. And they kept him there for what felt like 2 years, but I think it was just a few days. And then she was like, we're just hoping the air will dissipate and somehow be absorbed, but we don't want it moving quickly through his body. And
Wow.
Yeah,
That's scary. 3 months old.
Yeah, and she told us, she was like,
I would
you
be
know, like
shitting bricks.
Oh, yeah.
she was like, he may not know who you are anymore. He may, like, everything may be a restart. And so he had this duck bathrobe that we would put on him every time he would take a bath. Oh, he was so cute. And he smelled so good.
Oh.
And so I would sing this song, and I'd go, Grayson is a duck. And as soon as I said duck, he would crack up laughing.
Oh.
So she said, we're going to lift the medication, bring him out of this coma. And so I start singing those songs to him. He cracks up, starts laughing, both hands in the air, both feet in the air, so we know he's not paralyzed.
That's good.
And yeah, he was okay.
Oh, I'm sure that neck surgery at 9 months, you were like just praying to everybody.
Yeah, it was. This surgeon had my trust for telling me the truth.
Yeah.
Like, we didn't have a choice. Like, he couldn't live with the heart he was born with.
Right.
So we had to do
You had to fix
what
it.
we had to do. And, you know, your first child, you're so ignorant on raising kids
Right.
that you're like, okay, this is what it's like. So you just go with the punches. Now, had I had another child and I realized how different this experience was, it probably would have bothered me more. But I was young. And, yeah, you just roll with it.
So the surgeon that did at 3 months did it at 9 months?
She did. And then she did
the third
again,
one that he needed, right?
which was his freshman year of high school. And the
Oh, wow.
same surgeon did that one.
Damn.
Did they ended up replacing his heart?
No, so there's 4 chambers of the heart.
Right.
And the 2 bottom chambers, it was one big chamber. So the blood that had oxygen and the blood that did not have oxygen were all mixed up. So he was just getting half the oxygen.
Oh, okay.
And so when he was little, he would go into these spells where he would cry and turn blue, and I would have to cut the circulation off of his legs to get all of the blood to circulate in the top of his body, and then he would take a breath and pass out.
Oh, wow.
That
That's
must have
scary.
been so freaky.
And how long did you have to do that for? Like how many
Until
years,
his
months?
second surgery.
Okay, so until
Yeah.
9 months.
Yeah. So the first surgery, we went home with a chest wound, all the torn muscles of an open heart surgery,
my
and no
goodness.
repair.
Jesus.
So that was weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's been through it. And then his freshman year, we went back and had to do open heart again because the last stage was replacing his pulmonary valve. When he was little, it was so small that they just slid it open so the blood could rush through. Well, over the years, that valve had gotten so big that he was just being flooded through that valve. Mm-hmm. And they had to put a valve in to slow that down. But he had lived his whole life tired because of a lack of oxygen or lower oxygen. And it's just he's just had a unique experience. But he's such a funny, like, black and white child. Like, everything is fact or fiction. There's no in the middle. There's no innuendo.
No gray.
No. And if you want to know the truth, like...
Is he on the autism spectrum?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
And, but I will say every heart surgery, every experience he had on heart-lung bypass, I don't know statistically or I don't know the science behind it, but his personality changed in some ways every time.
Huh.
Yeah.
For the better or worse?
Or the different.
Or just different?
He was such a happy-go-lucky. At 3 months old, that was the happiest kid ever. The nurses could not believe. He had 4 teeth at 3 months old. He looked like a kid that grew up by a power plant. I mean, just an unusually happy, friendly kid. And he would try to repeat the things he was hearing at 3 months old.
Wow.
Huh.
And then he kind of got quieter in his toddler years and stuff, and after his second surgery. And then I would say his freshman year, it made him a little more outgoing after that surgery. Until his...
Spot on the brain, too.
Yeah. So they told us there was a spot on his frontal lobe, which is your inhibitions,
Yeah.
your personality.
What was the spot? Was it cancer or something else?
From his very first surgery, the air. But I was so afraid he was going to be one of those kids that needed a helmet. And like we were going to wake up and he's going to be jumping off the house every day. But no, he became super careful.
Huh.
Instead of being on the frontal lobe, you don't know how that's going to affect him.
Right.
And we were afraid that.
Yeah, that's why like the executive functions are and like the higher
and
functions stuff.
No, he became very careful, and I tried to get him to ride a bike once, and he was like, this is not safe, but he trusted me because I love him, and then I push him, and he crashes, and he jumped up, kicked the bike, and was like, I told you this is not safe. This is not safe. Why did you do this to me? And I felt so ashamed after he scolded me that I was like, fuck it.
I just
like,
wanted you to
don't ride the
bike.
That is so. I still remember when I was trying to teach Kalia to ride without training wheels, and like my ass was kind of out of shape and fat, and so I was like, I was pushing her to stabilize the bike, and she wouldn't pedal. Like she'd just sit there and like pedal, baby, pedal, and I'm like about having a fucking heart attack because my fat ass is running down the road. It's like pedal. And she wouldn't. I was like, fucking pedal!
I know, and it's funny. Isn't it funny how these kids look at us like they're doing all the work?
Yeah.
Like, they're tired from vacation. No, like, we're killing ourselves to make y'all look normal. But
well, I'm going to say, in your case, you literally were just to help him.
Yeah, but like, it's funny because I didn't have the experience of being a parent except that experience with him. So, he, if you were to ask me now, I would say he was the easiest child in the world.
That's good.
Because I've been around other people's kids, and I don't know if their parents are just terrible or... But there's like some kids you're like, yeah, I'm glad mom wasn't that one.
It's, I don't know, like Jennifer and I go to a support group for adoptive parents from the foster care system, and like... I know from talking in the past that you've had some experience with the foster care system, but like,
yeah,
it is a different ball of wax than any other parent had to deal with. But like, even biological kids, like I've known some fucked up biological kids, even my own brother and I, like who had the same upbringing, completely different people. So,
yeah, I think a lot of it is. I mean, I hate to put the burden on the parents, but. If your kids know where the rules are, if they know where the fence is, like, they tend to calm down a little more.
No.
No.
You don't think so?
No, I don't.
You haven't spent any time with Wesley.
I know so on that one.
See, that's my only experience is this child that was pretty easy.
Yeah.
He didn't do dangerous things.
Yeah.
He doesn't like rule breaking. Like, trying to get him to drive a car before 16 was almost impossible because it was illegal. First off, he told me.
Bless him.
Like, I never have to worry about him, like, sneaking into a bar or... Because if it's against the rules, he's not fucking with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that...
That's
I
like
hate to
my
say it,
brother.
but that is very specific to your child. Because, like,
Well, it's kind of like my brother, too.
Yeah. Because, like, Kalia's pretty good about that, too. Like, I haven't had to worry about...
We're seeing it with his generation more, though.
Yeah, she's a big scaredy cat, so I don't have to worry about it. But, like, my little brothers... Because I was in Big Brothers Big Sisters, and my little brothers were fearless. Like, they'd set the goddamn house... Like, my little brother shot himself in the hand because he was playing with his mom's gun. So, I was like...
How was he playing with his mom's...
She had hidden it, and she put it in his gun safe, or into the safe, and he'd figured out the combination, got it out, and he was fucking around with it, and shot himself in the hand.
Oh my gosh.
A single mother of twins.
Yep. One with a severe oppositional defiant disorder and ADHD.
Yep.
Oh.
So, yeah.
So it's
So
then
it's
it's
not
the
my good
nature-
parenting that made this child
Well,
so
I
well.
mean-
Because I felt like I was like, I'm the fucking boss when it comes to being a dad because this kid is easy.
I would say probably the autism probably helped you out a lot in
Oh,
that.
shit.
Just because that's just who he is, not how you made him or raised him. He's careful just because of being on the spectrum.
Yeah.
Well, there's something else for me to talk to my therapist about.
I'm sorry. I mean,
Like,
I would
the
love
one
to
thing
say
I was
you're a
fucking
wonderful
proud
dad.
of. Like,
I mean, you should be proud of how you
she's
treated
like,
and raised
nah, I
him.
don't think. I don't think that was you.
I mean, Mom
get it.
had something to do with it too, so it's not all you, right?
We just got a look from Brian. All right, so let's go back in
okay.
time.
I'm sorry.
So-
I didn't mean to push a button.
So let's talk.
No buttons there.
I know a little. I don't know much because
I don't know nothing.
I've only met Brian and his husband Michael once before, and I know you said you don't have the best relationship with biological mom.
I just don't have one with her.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
He
after
loves his mom so much, though.
So after he was born, and I guess after the 3 months, what was that relationship like?
She lived with us for a moment, but then just, I don't know if it was the stress of his being sick or, I don't know. I can't speak for somebody else, but I got custody.
Oh.
Which was...
That's surprising in Alabama for a gay man to get the...
My attorney searched every case in the state of Alabama, and I was the first openly gay man to put that in the documents and go for custody.
Wow.
And the only other case that had been heard before mine of openly gay parents, it was a lesbian couple that Judge Roy Moore was presiding over the case. And the lady was married. She had a girlfriend, left her husband, and for the rest of those children's life, she was only granted supervised visitation.
Wow.
Now, for our non-Alabama, for our people in Ontario and Saskatchewan, Roy Moore is the Supreme Court. He's the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court of Alabama.
Yes, and he ran for governor. Then he ran for. Did he run for senator? He was the Ten Commandments asshole.
Yeah.
But yeah, so our first court documents, my attorney was like, I don't know if you'll get anything, but we're going to say it in our first affidavit. And we did. And I think the new wore off, like, it's such a lengthy process. And so that was said in the first thing. It wasn't something anybody could bring up later as a gotcha. And my attorney she was so smart. And I got custody. I think that puts a rift in any relationship.
Yeah.
Like,
well,
go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going for, sole custody, that will definitely, there's a divide there now.
But even in that, like, I remember the judge granting me that, and I was crying. And the judge was like, Mr. Banks, is this not what you wanted? And I was like, no. I want this kid to have everything, including his mom. I want it all for him.
Right.
And he was like, well, some kids don't walk.
Oh.
You don't get everything just because you want it.
Damn. That's
And
kind
I
of
was
harsh.
like, wow.
All right.
And so, yeah, but then she has been a part of his life his whole life, and she loves him.
Is she still in Gunnersville, or is she here in Huntsville?
Over that way.
Oh, okay.
Not in Huntsville.
Oh, okay.
But he loves his mom, and isn't it funny how two people that are so different can make a kid?
Well, I mean, that's pretty much all kids.
It's weird.
Unless they're brother and sister.
Oh, that's true.
I mean, you would think if there was a God, he'd be like, yeah, this is a weird mix. But
Yeah.
But look what came out of that word mix.
Yeah.
And you sound like a very, very proud papa, and just the smile on your face right now.
I do. This kid makes me.
I would wish that I would have one day.
It's I still walk by. He's 19.
Is he still living with y'all?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh,
I mean,
Yeah,
he's learning responsibilities. Michael's really helping with that.
Now, Michael is your lovely
My partner,
husband who's sitting
the one
in
that's
the
sitting
peanut
over
gallery.
here, and he's nodding yes. Like, it's really hard to have a child that's sick, and
Say no.
you're worrying about this child staying alive.
right.
Now you got to worry about this child being a good adult, and now you got to worry about this child. It's a lot to make him do laundry too. But Michael has
You just got a dirty look from Mike.
Michael has accomplished that, and I think there was a beauty in Michael coming into his life when he was, 11? 10. And he wasn't the cuddly little chubby baby that I was so crazy about. Michael was introduced to a 10-year-old boy that He has been really good at helping him learn responsibilities, and my child loves that too.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like it, especially if you can't break the rules and.
Yeah, I still walk by him like after I have fixed his breakfast, which I do every single day. Oh. And I'll say, "Whose baby are you?" "Yours, Daddy." Yours, Daddy. Like, he's a grown man. He sounds like a grown. He still looks like a baby to me.
Oh.
Well, he probably always will be. I mean, he's gonna always be your baby, definitely.
I still want him to like
wait till
come lay down and cuddle with me, and he's got no interest in it.
Well, not at 19.
No, when he moved out of my bed, yeah, I was one of those parents. When he moved out of my bed, it devastated me.
How old was he when
was he co-sleep? Were you co-sleeping for a long time?
Well, so we did the whole how to solve your child's sleeping problem, and then we put him in his bed, me and my ex. Then when my ex and I, who is still very much his poppy every day, like, he's still his dad too. He was there the day he was born.
Wait, what?
Who?
My ex that I was with for 9 years.
Oh, your ex. Okay.
I thought you meant Mama. I got so confused.
I was confused too.
No, my ex was
Okay.
there the day he was born. We were together 9 years.
Okay.
And when we split up, he's still very much Grayson's other parent.
Aww.
But when he left, I moved Grayson back in the bed with me.
And
It was
so
just
how old
us.
was he when, so he was 9?
No, I don't know. Those details
said-
are foggy. But when
don't wanna
Michael first came to Alabama, Grayson still slept with me, and I didn't know if I was going to keep Michael. And I didn't want to hurt Grayson's feelings.
Keep him in the cage.
I didn't want to hurt Grayson's feelings over this other guy. So
That's so funny.
I slept in the middle in a king-size bed. This kiddo that rules the roof is on one side of me, and then this other little new person who wants to rule the roof is on the other side of me, and I'm burning the fuck up. It was hot in the middle.
I cannot believe. When we first got Kalia, when she was 5, one time she tried to crawl in bed with me, and she's a cuddler, and I'm just a sweaty, fat old man, and she wants to touch me while I'm sleeping. I'm like, get the fuck out of my bed. I don't care if you have a goddamn nightmare. I don't care if the boogeyman's about to eat your fucking face off. Go back to bed. I was like, I'm too hot and I'm sweaty. Don't touch me.
Okay, so that's my child, except he's in the bed with me. Don't cuddle me, don't touch me, get your own blanket. And I'm like, baby. And so you can imagine what the setup was like with all different blankets, 3 people in a bed, and this child doesn't want to be touched and complains if you touch him. Like, don't get on his side, don't get his blanket. Like, he's very much, this is my space. And then one day he was just like, I'm going to get in my bed. I just sat up in the bed all night long, like, listening. Like, did he really just do this? Like, maybe he just wants to go do, and he'll be back. No, he never came back.
Was Michael happy when he finally left the bed?
Yes.
So,
And I was too. I mean, it was.
Let him.
So I really
let him go.
I don't think he was in the bed for him. I think he was in the bed because he thought I needed it.
It sounds like you probably did.
I did. But
It sounds, yeah, definitely.
so when you have a child that has a heart problem,
Yeah.
the times that I have rolled over in the night to check his pulse for his whole life, the times I have pulled off the side of the road to check his pulse because people don't understand, like, yes, this child looks normal. Yes, things are better, but it's always in your mind.
Yeah.
Well, you had to cut the circulation off to his legs just to get him to breathe when he was a baby.
It's
So that does
been.
make sense.
Yeah. But, there's no judgment from us.
No.
We get it.
And it's funny that I say that because it's been a long time since I have felt the need to check on him like that. Of course, as a parent, you still freak out every time they get in a car.
Yeah.
Like, we have all the tracking devices, but yeah, we get notifications for Grayson stopped at so-and-so, Grayson arrived at, but I think I'm the only parent that still obsessively looks at that. they've all cut it off. Like my ex, Michael, everybody's like, I'm tired of getting those notifications. Not me. I want to know he made it. And
I can't wait to see. What is your son's
Life
name is
360.
Grayson? Is that his name?
Grayson.
If he ever produces grandchildren, I can't wait to see you as a grandpa.
Oh my gosh, I'm gonna love it.
I have thoroughly enjoyed being a grandfather. I will say, like, Kalia's a bit different because she lives with me. I do love the shit out of her.
Yeah.
But, like, when my younger granddaughters come over, I'm just like, because you don't see them as much, and they're just so excited to see you, and they call you Papa, and you're like, oh my God.
Well, and they're in the cute stage. They're
Yeah.
2 and 3.
Yep.
So
And you don't have to discipline them.
Yep.
It's fucking amazing.
yeah, and
Like-
when they leave, and that's great, and then you can breathe because you've been chasing 2 toddlers around the house.
I hate when they leave. Like, I'm gonna be the grandparent that's like constantly calling every day, wanting to see them. Like, we have friends that bring their kids to the house, and I'm like, oh, I wonder what he's doing right now. Like, we have this one couple, they have this little boy, he's 4. I've talked about him so much because after he came and swam at my house, and he loves vacuum cleaners.
Oh, bless him.
Like, that was the most excited I saw him at my house is when he found my vacuum cleaners.
Well, I'll make you a promise. Whenever my granddaughters come back up, and whenever my grandson gets born, who is literally like a week out, whenever they get born, we'll bring him over to the pool and
Yeah.
Well, not the baby baby.
not the baby.
But the baby baby.
Well,
Why not the baby baby?
You can
No,
meet the baby.
'cause the baby baby's a newborn.
Yeah,
So,
he won't go swimming, but we'll
My
bring
child
him.
was
We'll
3
bring
days
him.
old the first time he swam
We'll
underwater.
bring him. Don't worry.
I don't know what Mama will think.
We'll bring
you
him.
have to listen to Mama.
Yeah, you'll get to hold him. I promise.
Isn't that funny? Like, that's how young and dumb I was when Grayson was born. 3 days old, heart condition, and I'm like, let's see if he can swim underwater. He
You
did.
saw all those videos with those babies
He
swimming.
did.
That's
Eyes open, knew to hold his breath, like, and
I
he
don't know.
has never been afraid of water.
I don't think that's a bad thing.
no.
I
It
just,
was
you know,
fun.
I'm looking forward to having a grandson. It's going to be a very different experience of having 3 granddaughters,
Yeah.
but
That's going to be a different world. I feel like girls are, to me, they're more difficult
oh my God,
than boys.
I love my son. I adore him. Like, you know, I got him at 17, and he kind of have a bit of trouble in his like late teenage years, but he has turned out to be such a sweet man, and I can't claim any of that. That is not me.
You can claim a little bit of it.
I can claim the fact that he is grateful to me, and I just it makes me want to cry. But like I don't know where I was going with that segment because I've had too much vodka to drink.
The thing is that yes, you
Oh,
adopted
yes.
him when he was 17, but you let him live here and you tried to teach him things.
Yes, but
And he did learn sometimes the really long hard way, but he is a very good young man now, and you did contribute to that, even if you don't think so.
I agree.
But you didn't like raise him.
I will say though the difference between him and my granddaughter, especially Kalia, because like we've had her since she was 5, is I relate more to like I'm definitely closer to Kalia because like she's affectionate and she's cuddly and like I couldn't ever do that with my son and I like even my little brothers. I'd hug them and they were always affectionate, but like Kalia is just like I'll be laying on this couch and she will come
How
lay
old is
on
she
top.
now?
She's 10.
10.
But she'll come
Okay.
lay on top of me and for snuggles.
Give it a few more years.
That's fine. I'll take what I can get.
Yeah,
But-
I did hair long enough to watch the progression of these girls that it gets difficult.
Oh, I know. But I don't know. I'm less intimidated by having a daughter or granddaughter than I am by a son. But it may be my own internalized, like, I'm intimidated by straight men a lot, so that may be it too.
Yeah, it was. I think it's whatever you get because I've heard parents who had a daughter first and then they're scared of a boy, and then they have a baby boy first and then they're scared of girls. But
I thought a boy would be great.
boys are
They're hard.
boys will burn the house down,
Yes.
but it was never their intention to do harm.
Yours.
Yours.
I mean, it was just boys get lost in their actions and the excitement, and they're really not thinking about like if
Agreed.
a girl burns your house down, you better think 6 months back because you did some shit.
Yeah, agreed.
And she didn't forget it.
Agreed.
And she's not done.
Agreed.
But if a boy burns your house down, like he really, honestly, just wanted to see what the lighter would do,
Yeah. No, I agree.
or the fireworks, or
I don't know. I've had like Wesley and my little brother are both like just dumb as box of rock, like smart in their own way, but dumb as a box, impulsive, and it's like, oh, I'm gonna like set off fireworks in the fucking house because I'm bored.
like my little boy had a best friend, and we're in the salon one day, and all of a sudden there's smoke everywhere, and I'm like, what the hell? We run in there, and they both look like they've seen a ghost, but they have decided to put their Hot Wheels in the microwave just to see what they would do. But then once they did what they did, like they didn't really know how to like step in and react. So there's these burning cars, a microwave, the salon's full of smoke, and they were so cute. They just had no idea. Like, they didn't know that's what was going to happen.
Oh, I wish we had a video podcast. Y'all could see Michael's face right now.
They were so cute together.
Oh, my word.
They were as surprised as we were.
How old were they?
Like 4.
Oh.
Okay.
I was
Yeah,
thinking
yeah.
you were going to say like 10 or...
Oh, no. Like,
4 definitely, yeah. They're definitely going to be like, oh my God, did that happen?
they just thought the microwave was cool.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It lit up.
I mean,
and-
the other 4-year-old thinks the vacuum's cool, so you know.
Yeah.
Babies have their own...
My 3-year-old granddaughter like took scoops of cat litter out of the cat box and did a snow angel on the ground in the cat litter.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
So Grayson's 19, so has he graduated high school?
Yes.
And is he thinking of college or...
He is. He wanted to take the year off because he was out his 9th grade year for heart surgery. He was out his 10th grade year for COVID. He went back and he was out half of his 11th grade year for back surgery. He had a full spinal fusion.
Oh my goodness.
And
Goodness.
which we had done heart stuff, but this was our first back surgery.
Did he injure himself or?
No, it was from. They say it's not. We know it is. I mean, they did X-rays the day we went into the hospital for his open heart surgery, his last one, and he had a little bit of a curved scoliosis, like.
Oh, scoliosis. Okay.
But that surgery, his drain tubes clogged up, and after being in surgery all day long,
Oh, wow.
the surgeon had to rush back to the hospital, open him back up in his room to unclog the tubes. So in surgery, they have rib splitters that split your ribs by centimeters, and it's a perfect split. When there's an emergency, you pull those ribs open. And so, yeah, he woke up from surgery and was suffocating and drowning because his lungs were collapsing
good
from the
Lord.
blood building up. So she rushes back, opens him back up the second time. By the time we left the hospital, they were like, do you see a surgeon for his scoliosis? And we're like, no, what are you talking about? He has barely a curve. But it was like 60%.
Oh,
Jesus.
And that was the first of the week they had x-rays, and the last of the week. It doesn't matter. I know the hospitals need to protect themselves. And they're like, no, that wouldn't cause that. Well, obviously it did, but they had to do what they had to do.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm not suing anybody. Like, you had to open him. It was either that or suffocate.
Right.
Then we had to go back and have spine surgery for that. That was the toughest for us, and it was the toughest for him. Like, he really wasn't confident he would be okay again.
well, and that's him in 11th grade?
Yeah. He had to learn to walk again. He
Oh,
was on
my
a walker for a
goodness.
long
Oh,
time.
that poor baby.
And then just, like,
No wonder you baby him so much. He has
having
been
your
through
parents have
so
to give you a
much.
shower and do everything, like, in the
Wow.
bathroom. And we got him a bidet. And he was like, I'm not doing that. That's weird. Then he finally did it. And then about a week after he got his bidet, he was like, so people just walk around like dirty? And I'm like,
Yes.
oh, now we're snobby about our little buttholes. Like, now that we're squeaky clean. But,
Yeah,
yeah,
the pressure
it's-
washing our assholes.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it was just that one mentally took him to a dark place he was not used to being.
Right.
Poor thing.
So he's taking a year off.
Yeah, he's working
Where's he working?
at Lowe's.
Okay.
Oh.
So,
And
yeah.
then what's
Now
his
he's
plan?
thinking about going back to school now that he got his little
He worked it out of his system.
his moment in the real world to see what retail and
Oh, yeah.
what happens if you don't go to school. But it's funny, he just likes people. Like, he'll come home and go, all the people I work with are so nice to me. I think they really like me.
Oh.
He just has that outlook on the world.
He's just like his daddy.
No.
No?
No.
You,
Yeah.
you were seem to be a
Pretty
very positive
happy
person.
person, but he just believes when people are nice to him, they've made the exception to be nice to him.
Aw.
Not that they're just being kind
Them.
people in public and they're
Right.
trying not to be assholes.
They have manners.
She was really kind to me. He will tell me when some lady in a drive-thru was really nice to him, and he's like, she was really, really kind to me.
Aww.
And it's just.
What if he tells me the bad stuff?
But he will
He will what?
tell you if somebody's a bitch too.
Yeah, that's so funny.
We're at the age where he gets to cuss now, and
Ooh.
yeah.
Did he decide that he was?
Yeah,
because he's so careful about everything else. Did he say 19 is the time that I get to cuss around you?
No,
guys,
it was
or-
earlier. It was like his senior year of high school. His friends were cursing at school, and then he would let a fuck slip here or there, and then I wouldn't react. And then, yeah, he's got a mouth on him. But
Kind of like his daddy.
I think after he was 18, he was
is that when he?
18 is what Michael said.
Yeah.
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 And it's a weird day when your kids get to cuss with you. Like,
We've been telling Kalia for a while. I was like, I know you cuss with your friends. I was like, just don't do it around us, and don't do it around. Definitely don't do it around your grandparent, like her great grandparents. So don't do it around the old people.
I was kind of glad to hear it.
I'll get when she gets high school. I'll probably be like, just don't call, like, don't.
Well,
insult
he's
me.
such a rule follower. Like,
He broke.
I
a rule,
thought
you
this
think.
kid's got to do something bad, or he's going to be like one of those little Amish girls that get out in the world and go buck wild. I was like, I need him to like try some shit. When we were growing up, you actually got out and snuck around and tried things your parents didn't know about it. We know every move they make now. Like,
Well,
there
he got
is
that
a
365 shit on his phone. Yeah,
I know, but there was. I'm so thankful I lived through the shit I pulled.
That we didn't have video cameras on, or didn't have phones that had video cameras.
No, and we would skip school. We were smart enough to know to drive to Chattanooga for the day, like to skip school. Like, none of my parents' friends were going to be there, but those were the moments I think that we developed. And these kids just sit behind a computer and Google their feelings, and they don't actually get to go out and feel shit.
I don't know. My little brothers have experienced some shit. Like, they were getting blowjobs in the bathroom in middle school, so they were experiencing some shit too.
Yeah.
Is your son dating anyone?
Oh, yeah. Has been since 7th grade.
Oh, who was he dating?
Cameron.
Okay.
So he's a little homosexual.
Or is Cameron a girl?
Is that a girl name or a boy name?
Cameron is a non-binary.
Oh, okay.
Is that how you say it?
Yeah, a non-binary person.
A non-binary.
Well, I named him. I think
Do we add
But-
person to that, or I guess
they are
automatically?
non-binary.
They are.
Okay,
And
well, that's awesome.
It's been really cool. The two of them were so much alike. Like, not very social, not very, and yeah, like, just watch it. I love watching him become a grown-up.
That's awesome.
And Cameron, we just took him to Dollywood together,
Aw.
and it was a really cool trip. So
since 7th grade.
yeah,
So that is Grayson's first.
yeah, I think so.
Dating
Wow.
partner. Wow.
Yeah, I think so.
Wow.
Yeah, he doesn't like to share
Yeah,
everything.
but say he knows what he wants. I guess 7th grade to 19, because 7th grade is like 14 years old, I think.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
Yeah, something like that.
I looked on his iPad when he was really young and realized he knew what he wanted.
Oh my.
Yeah, those are the... Have y'all had those experiences yet?
Jennifer hasn't, but like Kalia borrowed my mom's iPad one time, and
Well, she was like 8.
yeah, she was 8, and we
Yeah, that's about when they...
we bought pizza, and I was like, oh, let's have some pizza, and then we couldn't find her, so we went in the backyard where my mom's place she was staying at the time, and I was like, what are you doing back here? She's like, oh, I was just looking stuff up online. I was like, okay. So we went inside, and I was like, hey, Mom, would you unlock this for me? And Kalia flipped out. She's like, y'all don't trust me. I didn't say anything to her. I was like, hey, Mom, would you unlock this? And she started flipping out. She ran out the door and ran away. In a neighborhood, like my mom had just moved to Huntsville, and like Kalia didn't know this. We had been in this neighborhood once, and she just ran out the door. And I opened it, and there was Tiana Sex, like Tiana from Princess and the Frog. And so she'd been looking up nudie pictures of
Okay, so
Tiana.
this is... I guess it was about 8 years old. And like I said, I see this child as like this angelic cherub,
Baby.
beautiful being. And to know that the internet had spoiled my child's eyes were just devastating.
I was about to say, does your sweet angelic child know what his daddy's up to?
Well, I did tell him about private browsing and deleting your browsing history.
And the cookies.
But you know, it was one of those things. People don't realize your children, it's not that they're looking for that. Generally, they're Googling cartoons.
Yeah.
This is what he did. Googled a cartoon, his cartoon characters, which led him to, because we never put
Yep.
parental locks on any of those things.
Same.
So then I thought, oh my gosh, like he's going to only be attracted to cartoons. But that is kind of how it happens if you don't have those age-restrictive locks on.
Yeah, we had the same thing with Kalia.
Well, that was Grandma's iPad.
No,
so-
it was before Grandma.
Oh.
She had like stumbled onto like just stuff. She'd Googled one of her characters and found like X-rated stuff.
Yeah. And you can't unring that bell.
Yeah.
Like, you can't.
Or as Jennifer would say, you can't unclick that mouse.
That's right.
Can't what?
Unclick the mouse.
Right.
We don't call flicking the bean, we call it clicking the mouse.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord. So, how do you feel like, do you feel like grandchildren on the plate anytime soon?
Oh, no.
No, okay. That'll be
No.
like forever.
Who knows?
Okay. He's 19. Whatever. He's got, hopefully, till he's 30.
Well, he wants to go to school now, and he's so good with computers. And
He might be going to school with Jennifer's brother.
Yeah.
He's
Is he
going-
planning on staying in the state? Or
he would go around here.
UAH?
Yeah, maybe. We don't know. We've really not. I'm kind of just... His whole life has had a team of people telling him every move to make.
Right.
And so I've tried to just back off and be like, what are you thinking? What do you want to do here? I mean, I was a mess at his age.
Right. And his partner, are they in school? Or
They are going to school for forensics investigations. They'll be going to
Ooh.
Jacksonville. It's like the only school that offers that here.
Wow.
So,
All right.
yeah, they're finally getting to that age. You know, he's interested in how... I've always tried to be as honest as I could about how much things cost and how I've made money doing this and like what the profit on this was. So, you know, in real estate, just showing him kind of how all that works. We were actually talking about that this week on buying homes and why the market slows and why it is a hot market. And he likes that kind of stuff. He likes to know how things work, but I think he would do great with anything with computers.
Well, if he needs any advice, I am actually a software developer, so you just send him my way and we'll put him in the right direction.
The what now?
I'm a software developer, so if he ever needs any like advice, just let me know.
You know, I think the only thing that holds him back is he does not like to attempt things that he will fail at.
Yeah, that's understandable,
And
especially if it's public.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, understandable.
whereas I'll just pretend I wasn't trying if I fail.
Well, it sounds like you've raised a sweet and wonderful young man.
Yes.
All right, so this is probably a good transition spot.
Is it?
Yeah, I think so. So,
Okay.
Miss Jennifer, what is our snack time today?
Well, Zane and his mama went to Tennessee to the Amish country area.
I think it's like
I'm not really-
Mennonite, but we call them Amish in this area.
Yeah, I hope I'm not
Yeah, I don't
offending
know.
anybody, but Zane brought some cookies back.
Yes.
And we had a cowboy cookie, which is just kind of like all the cookies rolled up into one. It was like a oatmeal, chocolate chip, peanut butter, and something else. And then a peanut butter chocolate chip cookie.
Yeah, that's what I've been nibbling on.
And they're very yummy.
Yep.
The Amish did a really good job. Thumbs up.
We need to see if they'll take a little black boy who needs to
know,
learn
right?
how to live like the Amish do.
No screens.
Have y'all been up there?
Zane, my husband has, but he's invited me, and I'm just like, I'm good.
It's really cool to see.
I'm sure it is.
But
Like,
Zane
my
always
dad
wants to
took
go
me
when it's
once.
hot, and apparently they don't wear deodorant, and I just...
Well, you're not going to get that close. You can't make out with them.
I'm not going to
like,
make out with... Well...
You have to. You kind of
Well.
keep your distance. It's
I'll
almost.
tell the hot ones to come to Huntsville for
You'd be,
Rumspringa.
you'd be like, Jessica, my name's Jennifer.
Any boys coming of age in there?
Anybody want to have a good rum
No, but it's
springer?
Rumspringa, yeah.
it really is something to see.
I want to go up to Pennsylvania, so we're like the major Amish communities
Yeah,
are.
but I will tell you, in Tennessee, it's a mix of Amish and two different sects of Mennonite are there.
Okay.
So you kind of get to see it all.
Okay.
But there's some like really old school Amish there, and they're all in the same area.
Zane has taken my mom and his mom, and Zane and his mom go a lot, and they've taken my mom and my granddaughter. But I don't know, driving around farm to farm, I'm just like, I don't really care that much. But
Yeah.
I might go one day because I love my husband. But we'll see.
Let's all go one day.
Okay.
I got a
Yeah.
big ass car.
Oh yeah,
It's
well, like the produce is all out. So like they,
I just like to see them like work in the fields and
like you get a bushel of corn like this big for like $3.
And
it looks like a painting.
Yes.
Like
Yeah.
they're in their little white shirts and
Well,
like
they got
kids
the
are like
hats. They wear a lot of
4-year-olds
blue.
out
They wear a lot of blue and
tilling with a plow and
Oh my.
they're having the best time
Yeah.
because they don't know any better.
that's what you're about to say. They
I
don't,
was
They
about to
don't-
say that's why when you say Jennifer's son out there, let him enjoy
I mean,
it.
these are kids that don't know about porn yet.
Yeah.
yeah.
They probably like sneaking a peek on their cousins in the showers. And like it's scandalous.
That's probably true.
Yeah, probably. All right, so we've had our snack time. Now it's story time, Mr. Brian. We asked you to hold on the back of your brain a little story about Grayson or yourself. Any fun stories about your kids?
Oh yeah, like there were a lot of, I mean, like with the Hot Wheels and stuff, but you know, when he was little, we would just we did a lot of whispering behind his back, like, do you think this has been affected by his brain or his heart? And I can remember when he was little and I said, I've never heard Grayson say if he smells something or if something stinks. And that went on for probably a year, us just going, I don't know if he can smell. And I don't know if he knows if he can smell. And I would worry about like the silliest things. And then he was about 4, and me and my ex, we'd pull up in a gas station. Just this child travels perfectly. He's like the perfect kid when he was little. And all of a sudden you hear bullshit.
Oh,
And I'm like, what the fuck? And my ex is like, don't say anything because if you make a big deal, he'll keep saying it. And then he was like, Daddy, bullshit. And I'm like, what? He goes, no, horse shit. And I was like, what? And then he was like, yep, right over there. I knew I could smell it. Horse shit. And I almost cried because I was like, he can smell. It was like such a pretty moment. But there was a horse trailer and there was horse shit and he
That's
smelled it.
funny.
And
that is so funny.
I guess he just never had anything that he needed to tell us he smelled before that moment.
That is funny. How
4.
4?
So funny.
Yeah.
That
Horse
reminds,
shit.
that reminds me of one time I had a dog for several years, and we would visit a friend who lived out in the country, and she lived next to a pasture field with cows, and I let the dog run off his leash. The little fucker went under the barbed wire, found a fresh cow patty, and rolled in it. And I was like, you motherfucker, get out of it. And I was like, I was trying to find soft things to throw at him to stop it. I was like, stop it, you son of a bitch. Because I was like at my friend's house. And so like he like walked back with his tail wagging.
Had you just gotten the dog?
No, I'd had him probably about a couple years. But
so you already loved it.
Oh my God, I was so mad. Because I had to wash the little fucker. And like I had to give him a little whore bath out in the yard. Because he just, it was so gross.
Yeah. You loved it already.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Because I would have just been like, that's not my dog anymore. I'm just fucking let
No,
it
2
be.
years in, I loved the little fucker. Oh, horseshit.
A weekend, you loved that little.
Yeah, that's
fucker
true.
we were talking
That's true. All right. Well, thank you, Mr. Brian, for joining us. And
Thank
thank
you,
you
guys. This
for
was fun.
our 25 listeners out there for listening to another episode of A Guide to Poor Parenting. If you have any funny stories about your kids,
Or if you need some bad parenting advice or have any ideas for topics.
please email us at guidetopoorparenting@gmail.com.
If you like our podcast, please give us a 5-star rating on whatever platform you're listening on.
And if you don't like our podcast, just like when our kids get mad that they have to read for 15 minutes, even though they spent the last 12 hours watching TV.
Tough shit.
God damn it.
Go back to school.
Yeah. Bye, y'all.
Bye,
Thanks,
guys.
Brian.